Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
If IBS was a radio show, it would be the audience of one, right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, next to the man who only eats once a day. It's Dick. No, I'm just having a margarita. Schussler. It's time to do the show, bud. How are you, man?
Good. I'm trying to make sure the camera's right for me.
Yeah, show your good side, whatever side that may be.
I'm doing good, dude. It's like the weather, it's so strange because I was anticipating it to get so cold over the last week. You know, I'm doing a lot of jobs outside, helping my family do some landscaping, helping buddies do stuff. Went to the deer lease this weekend, and the whole time I was thinking, it's going to be so cold, it's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't.
Beautiful.
And I feel like it was a gift. But now something's going to happen this week. We're like, oh, I'm supposed to have fun this week. And it's like, no, we're going to make it freezing and wet, and you can't go anywhere.
Yes, the weather gods giveth, and they taketh away. That's correct, especially this time of year. I do want to apologize to all of the onesies and listeners out there. Last week, I had the worst itchy throat, and so I know it was highly annoying as I'm coughing and hacking through virtually the entire episode. So I'm going to try and not cough and clear my throat every 5 seconds like I did last week. That was annoying.
Yeah, so it's funny about the coughing thing. I'm in a deer blind with a person I just met that day, and
weird.
And he had a cough, and he was like, "Do you have any cough drops?" And I was like, "No, man, I don't have stuff. I don't have anything." And so he was doing this the whole time, and I'm not a hunter, but I understand to be quiet, like really quiet.
Right.
And he was like, it was so great listening to the birds, and then you hear.
That was basically like this show last week.
And I'm like, geez, this guy's really trying to, man.
But if you're that guy, do you really want to take the cough drop from some guy you didn't know that's been in his pocket for who knows how long?
I mean,
it's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Hey, man, you got a cough drop.
But yeah, it was overall a great experience being at camp with a bunch of guys you don't know. You knew one guy. Well, actually, no, I met another one before, but the hunting is alive and well out in the world.
Sure is, especially in these parts. How far of a drive from here was
3 hours in Kingsbury area.
Okay, I'm going to pretend like I know where that is.
You know where Seguin is?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I know where
it's by Seguin.
Yes.
So, but one thing I loved.
I lived there in that area for like 8 years. I don't know why I didn't know what Kingsbury is.
Because you're useless.
Well, that's just Kingsbury's probably like got 16 population, right? I mean, come on.
Probably. But no, what I loved was we're out there and you could hear everyone around us, and I felt like I was in a Mad Max movie because like the different camps were doing different things. So like one camp where you could just hear them hooping and hollering, and they're drinking, they're doing stupid stuff,
right?
Building huge fires, and then the other camp you just hear clanging because they're working on their cars or they're just doing something, and I'm like, we're all just sitting out here waiting to go to bed so they can wake up at 4 a.m. and go hunting.
Yeah, and your party, meanwhile, is just sitting there going.
No, he got that cleared up later. He had some at the camp, but once you're in the blind, you're kind of stuck. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you don't leave because that's kind of the whole point. You scare off everything.
I made the mistake of drinking a soda pop before I went in there with some whiskey, and I had to fart the entire time I was in that thing, and I was sitting there going like. And I kind of wanted, I don't know this guy, and I was like, I wanted to look at him, but hey, do you mind if I fart? But I can't guarantee that it's going to be a quiet one, and I'm trying to like not ruin this hunt for you. So you tell me when it's about time to wrap it up that I can just start letting go. And I actually eventually had to tell him, I was like, dude, I'm sorry if I'm moving a lot, like my stomach, like I'm literally my kidneys are shaking. Like I have so much built up pressure in my body.
Well, maybe next time you go, you will be on a farting relationship with him.
But,
you know what I mean? You will be comfortable enough around this person.
After I told him,
you could let it fly.
My situation. He's like, dude, I totally get it. I had to take a piss the entire time. but like you can't move, you can't leave because if you leave, you already ruined.
Oh yeah,
ruined everything.
Yeah. You got to start over.
So, but that was a fun time, and then yeah, I checked out Bar ABQ. So if you're in the Montgomery County area and you're a listener to Audience of One,
We have listeners worldwide.
yeah, well, I'm just letting you know in Montgomery. There's a barbecue joint that has select hours of operation, and it was one of the best barbecue joints I've been to. It's pricey, but it's worth the price. They for example, because they actually came to the studio, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, and they talked about how good their desserts are. Well, the cookie was $4.
Oh my! It better be wonderful.
And it was a
It's
tallow.
like that $5 glass of lemonade we talked about a while back.
It was like a tallow buttered cookie, and it was delicious. So I get it now, and I get why people pay a lot of money for good barbecue.
Oh yeah,
it was
nothing
one of
better.
The best.
Nothing
one
better.
of the best. And then yeah, man. How about you? What did you
Well,
do?
I actually had a pretty relaxing weekend. I cleaned out my shed. You know, one of those kind of weekends. Not a lot going on, but it is officially December, so it is the Christmas season is here upon us. Dick, how's your Christmas shopping going?
Oh, I don't do Christmas.
Yeah, you don't identify as
yeah.
Christmas. Are you just one of those guys that just randomly shows up and expects to have gifts given to you?
No,
but
we talked about this. So what it is, I buy people gifts all the time if I know it's going to be a gift they
Right.
enjoy. And
Okay.
then if for like Christmas, if I'm forced to buy something, like for example, when I was with a girl, I hated Christmas shopping because
Yeah.
I mainly because I wanted to buy something that was meaningful, but that amount of time of finding something, then you go the cheap route and you buy like a bracelet. And I always feel like that diminishes my relationship with somebody because imagine this person has 1,000 bracelets. And so now I'm making her choose every day between 1,000 bracelets. And then I don't feel like love is in return if she doesn't wear it, right? Like, why did I spend $400 on this bracelet?
Yeah.
And you're never going to wear it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Christmas shopping either. It does feel awfully forced, and man, I never know what to get people. You know, I never know, and sometimes I feel like I'm getting something just to get them something, and
Yeah, and I've
it's
always
it's the worst.
Like I remember the best gift I got a girl I liked was it was a combination of all her problems. And so, like, for example, one problem she always has, her phone always died because she never charged it. So I got her a bunch of battery banks that she, like, one for her purse, one for her car. And I was like, look, you can charge these and just leave them in your purse. So, like, if you need to charge your phone, just plug it in.
Did you say butt plug it in?
But no, I didn't say butt plug.
I swear you just did.
I didn't get her. I hold it. You know, there's
I'm gonna have to go back and check that one out.
But I remember getting that for her. And I thought I did so good. I was like, oh man, I nailed this gift. And I also got her like a shower keeper because in her shower there was just stuff everywhere.
Shower caddy,
Yeah, and I got that. And then I was like, I'm
Basically, that's like getting someone a breath mint when they didn't ask for it. By the way,
and then I
Look
got
at
her.
it. Wait, is my breath smell? No, I'm just offering you a breath mint.
Yep.
If you give them a shower caddy, you're basically telling her she's filthy. You realize that?
No. So this is what I'm telling you. And then I bought her.
Here's some oven mitts.
I
You can
bought
cook
her
dinner too.
enough chargers, and so she'll never take mine. And when she opened up the gift, she just looks at me and she's like, "What is all this stuff for?" I'm like, "It's for you to use. Like you're gonna need this stuff."
Oh yeah, you were in trouble at
And
this
then
point.
and she was anticipating a bracelet for the 1,000th time. And I'm like, no, look, these things are cool. Like
At this point, you'd have him haul down her arm, adorning
yeah,
her,
and I was
adorning
like,
her
look,
forearm.
you can use this charger in the living room. This charger's for your bedroom. This charger's for your bathroom. Like, you're golden. You don't need to take a charger out anywhere.
And enjoy these oven mitts.
And she just goes, "Is this because I always take your charger?" Well, yeah, kind of. And I hated it because when you just, I'd be okay with it if someone took it and told me, but that one time you need that charger. But yeah, that's why I don't give gifts. It could
Right.
be a hit or miss.
I love your rationalization for doing so. Is the Christmas tree up at the house yet?
No, we don't do that.
You don't do that. The Christmas tree. Well, it is up at my house, and it's always up for debate. When does the Christmas tree actually go up? Is it right after Thanksgiving? I think universally most people think December 1st. Well, apparently scientists have looked into this as what the proper time, the exact day to put up your Christmas tree is. Would you like to know?
What?
Actually, you don't really care. December 3rd is the ideal date to put up the Christmas tree, according to experts from the UK-based Christmas Tree World.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a family that we had an actual pine tree or Christmas tree, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, spruce,
Yeah, we actually had we always
Douglas
had one.
fir.
We always had one, but we always had to clean it. And I remember at one point,
Wait. Clean. So this was an artificial tree,
no, it was a real tree,
and you wait.
but the pine needles would fall.
So was this potted in a plant like?
They were giant trees. We had a good 15.
Oh, you
15
mean you
footer.
went out, cut one down like Clark
Yeah.
Griswold in the yard and drug it in every year?
Yeah, and
Oh, my.
Yeah, one year I remember because, like I said, I had 5 brothers and sisters, so we had a large family. And I remember one year we all refused. We told my dad, we're like, no, we're not cleaning it. So don't get a tree. Just don't get a tree because we don't want to sit there and clean it. And we didn't get a tree from that point on because I go, I'm not cleaning it. So if you get it, I don't care if you put presents under it.
Squirrels in it and all kinds of stuff.
I don't care. And
Well,
then, but yeah.
Yeah,
no
so apparently
Christmas
it's
tree.
the December. Well, you're late then. It's December 3rd because they insist that the decor follow the Advent calendar. Well, wouldn't you know though? Once you put up that tree, you got to take it down. Do you guys typically take it down right after Christmas, after New Year? I guess.
No, right after. Usually the day or two after Christmas. It is also dependent on like how the trash day was. 'Cause
Oh
we would
yeah, you
chop
got
it
to time.
up.
Yeah, you got to time it
You
up.
gotta time it, and
Yep.
then
Well, the UK scientists say that you should follow the Advent calendar and leave your Christmas tree up after the 12 days of Christmas, which this year ends on January 5th. So there you go, onesies. Up on the 3rd, down on the 5th.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Christmas is one of those times that a lot of people lose track of stuff, and because I remember one time I went to visit my cousin, and they all made like the whole neighborhood was into making tree forts after Christmas.
Ooh, yeah, out of the Christmas
So,
trees.
like everyone got
Boy, I
together.
know you got that one friend that started smoking early, and
Well,
that
that's-
sucker goes
well,
up.
Yeah, it was in Houston actually. So I remember like because we'd always go visit the family the next day after Christmas, and then we had our shared family Christmases and stuff. And when I remember one year, you're like, "Oh, we can't do that anymore," and I was like, "What does that mean? Why can't you do that anymore?" And he's like, "Oh, apparently like the HOA or like the city of
Right.
City of Houston was like
Fire hazard.
That's a fire hazard. You cannot do that." And they were getting good too. It wasn't just like a little box. Like it legit had, different dimensions, and you had little cabins. We have enough trees. I mean, you're talking like 100 trees, so you could just make.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Actually, as a
that's what I'm saying.
kid, it was
No,
probably
it was
pretty legit.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what's
But a
next?
fire
What's
danger-
next on the?
Well, also part of the holiday season is the Hallmark Lifetime movies. Now they go on all year, but they get really, really popular this time of year.
Yeah.
With the Christmas theme. Are you a fan of the Hallmark or Lifetime movie?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh God, yeah, you look like. And I think we've talked
I
about this
look
before.
like somebody is because I belong in it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, you look like you could be one of the actors in there, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, and I think we've talked about this before, how they're just so entirely formulaic. It's
I
the
love it.
same story
It's
over
my
and over and
That's
over
my
again.
favorite game to play while watching. It was like,
Yeah, but the thing is, it would be really interesting if one time they just threw a curveball in there and like right at the end, as they're about to have their first kiss, it just shivs her right in the side. And,
oh no,
it's like
there's
a murder mystery or
this is-
something.
I wish I had the list because that was the thing that I used to do with people is like I watch them and I rated them as, how crazy. So that's how you could tell it was good or not. So like a normal Hallmark movie is not crazy. But then there's certain ones that are like there's little elements to it that do not make any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Where I think there's a couple of them where the uncle finally comes back to the family and starts problems, but it turned out the uncle wasn't an uncle; it was an actual father of one of the kids.
Yeah.
And then it was like a secret affair, and I was like, "This is a Hallmark movie?" Like that sounded really
I
dark.
think the couple should meet one time. They fall in love throughout the episode, and then they find out at the end that they're actually blood related brother and sister, and then they have to make that choice. Do we just go with love, baby? See, they got to mix it up. Well, Lifetime is taking some of my advice here, and they are taking a new position and including a sex scene in the forthcoming, the very first ever Lifetime sex scene. This movie is called A Cowboy Christmas Romance, more like a reverse Cowboy Christmas Romance. But again, it marks the first ever scene in their annual holiday series. Yeah, buddy. Wonder how good that one's going to be.
Well, not even that. Like, what I really enjoy are the newer Christmas movies, especially with Netflix and everybody coming into the game, and they get these big actors or actresses, whatever, to be in them, and they're still terrible.
Well, I think you can only do so much with those scripts, to be honest with you.
But they're still great.
Yeah.
And
Well, they lost a couple of their big actresses, I suppose. Hallmark did when Lori Loughlin got booted from her position after the.
oh, that's right. She went to jail.
She went to jail. Yeah.
I was like, Lori Loughlin.
She was huge on that for a while.
Yeah. I mean, those things are amazing to me. It's amazing to me how cheap they are.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like everyone still watches them, and like you played that roulette game where it's like, oh, what's the occupation? Is it a photographer this time, or what? My favorite are always the internet ones where they have an internet job that probably doesn't really exist.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're a blogger.
Well, maybe our buddy Steve Larkin, the actor we interviewed earlier this year,
He needs to be in all of them.
Yes, he was Santa Claus. For those of you who did not catch that episode,
But yeah,
I'm sure his episodes will be airing again.
I like the idea of Lifetime doing that.
Yeah, buddy.
I think they should. What they should do is do stupid action movies like that.
You think there's gonna be some full frontal though?
No, I don't.
No, it's probably gonna be really lame. It's probably gonna be a really lame sex scene. I guess you don't go to Lifetime for good sex scenes, or maybe you do, but you want it to be an action flick.
Or something
Like Die Hard?
Well, no, like what they should do.
It's a Christmas movie.
Well, they should have different genres, but they're Christmas themed. Like, why does it always have to be a romantic, boring?
That's their shtick, man.
Because I get
that's the formula.
I get the occasional one, but then do another genre. Do like a police drama.
You're not in the demo, dude.
Oh, I'm just saying that's how you shake up the Christmas movie line.
Well, it says the movie, which premieres on the network on December 9th, follows real estate agent Lexi Crenshaw. They even gave her kind of a porny name there. A real estate agent who returns home to Arizona to reclaim land belonging to her rancher, Kobe Mason. But the land isn't the only thing Lexi wants to claim after meeting Kobe and feeling a spark of attraction. Yeah. These are so bad. Well, anyways, December 9th, onesies, tune in for the first ever sex scene on Lifetime. So I posted this on our...
Maybe I'm not understanding what a sex scene is. So are you saying they're showing nudity, like it's like a pornography film?
No, I doubt that.
Are you saying
my guess
they're not
is
just
they're going
kissing?
Right. My guess is there's going to be a bedroom scene that involves something
like,
more than just
laying
laying there reading
my
a newspaper
mind.
or magazine at night before you go to bed.
Yeah, I'm going back in my mind of those movies, and I can only really remember just the kiss. Like, there's always just the kiss. There's not like... There might be a bedroom scene where it's like you said, it's the next day and they're brushing their teeth and they're in their pajamas.
Right. It's implied.
But there's no. I don't. You're right. Like I never really even thought about it. So that the fact that they're doing that and trying to make that a big deal tells me how weak the script is.
Yeah, or they're just trying to gain a new audience.
Like we're gonna see this girl in her underwear.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much they're going to show. So I posted on our Facebook page last week, or maybe it was earlier this week. I don't even know. About the Plaza Hotel in New York offering a new holiday package for the Home Alone holiday package, that is, for the Christmas season.
Okay.
And if you remember anything from the Home Alone 2 movie, this is where he's lost in New York.
Yeah.
So the Plaza Hotel is giving some of their patrons the opportunity to recreate the scenes from the 1990s hit movie Home Alone 2.
Okay.
And basically it includes like a 4-hour limousine ride that takes you around the city. You get like your very own personal cheese pizza, et cetera, some of the things that were iconic in that movie. And I joked, I'm like, well, I wonder if that crazy bird lady shows up with a bunch of crap all over her, right? Comes into your room at night to talk about her long lost daughter or something, right? Or maybe the was it the Wet Bandits? Was that the name of the two guys?
we get this crew to come in and break into your
right. They come and break into your room. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Wait, what was the movie too? The Angels with Filthy Wings or whatever, the movie that he plays the audio of to scare off when that guy shows up and stards taking shots at you. That'd be pretty funny.
That's how you wake her
I'm
up.
going to give you to the count of 3 to get you ugly, yellow, no good keist off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
Okay.
That's the iconic line,
I
man.
get it now.
No, but it's pretty funny. So would you want to get the Home Alone package from the Plaza Hotel, Dick, if you had
the
chance?
The only thing I can think of is getting everything paid for at the minibar.
Oh, true. Yeah, he does raid that, doesn't he?
It, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end his dad, who mysteriously has a lot of cash somehow. Not sure what he does for a living. I'm sure he had to foot the bill.
Well, let's be realistic.
Okay.
He's the father of like 20 kids. You never knew like who is who. So he probably knows he needs to save his money till he gets bills like that. So that's why he has a lot of cash, because he's like, oh, I can't spend any money until one of my kids screws it up and I got to like gets in a car wreck or whatever. It's like,
yeah, I don't know if that's the way it goes, buddy.
I'm sorry, your kids are perfect.
Yeah, they really are. So you do remember, this is from the first Home Alone, not Home Alone 2, the iconic scene of when little Kevin McAllister goes to the grocery store on his own.
Yeah.
Once he realizes that his parents have left him, and he goes to the grocery store and he buys all the groceries and whatnot. Well, it went viral over the past week. Someone decided to add up what those items would cost by today's standards.
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So if you remember that scene when he rings up the items that he bought, it rang up to like $19.83 after a $1 coupon, which is pretty funny. So I guess this was probably a TikTok thing. Decided to go through that movie and recreate it and find today's prices. So on Kevin's shopping list was a TV dinner,
Yeah.
a loaf of Wonder Bread, frozen mac and cheese, cling wrap, a half gallon of milk, Tide laundry detergent, toilet paper, a half gallon of orange juice, a pack of Army Men, and dryer sheets. Would you like to take a guess?
Well, I'm looking at.
Oh, you already know. That.
No, I mean, I think everything's gone up at least 50%.
50. Try 248% increase because the total would cost you $63.73 in 2023 dollars. Thanks a lot, Biden.
Well, wait.
Of course, that's after the $1 coupon,
I
I'm
mean,
guessing.
$4.50 for orange juice sounds about normal for orange juice.
That's by today, right?
No, she's talking about back then. It was $4.50 for orange juice.
Oh, that seems like a lot for back then. That's about normal for now, I would think.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. If it was $4.50 back then, it was probably $4.50. Or am I reading this wrong?
Maybe I think that's today's prices.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it couldn't have been $4.50 for the orange juice because his total bill was $19.83.
Oh, nice.
I don't think the orange juice
Also,
was that expensive,
I
but I
think-
think that's really funny
well,
how somebody decided to go and add that all
Also,
up.
you also have to imagine a lot of props that are made for movies are made specifically for movies. So someone could have just.
That's kind of the point of a prop for a movie.
Well, I meant more of like they didn't go into a grocery store, buy those things, and just like, oh, let's keep the receipt for this scene. They probably just printed out a receipt they made, and it's like, there you go. No one really knows the prices.
so you're
of these
saying
items.
that, yeah, so you're saying the $19.83 may not have even been accurate
Oh, yeah.
in 1990 terms.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible, I suppose. I didn't think about that. But I mean,
That's why I'm here. I think about the things you can't think about.
or just refuse to. I refuse to. I want to believe that that's accurate.
That's fine with me. I don't care.
And it makes for a much better story on my case. I don't know.
Back
I was a big fan of that.
day,
I was a big fan of that movie.
$20 for a thing of eggs.
$20.
$20.
Dick, have you ever been to a company Christmas party?
And the worker on the corner was only 20 cents.
All right, I'm not that old. You ever been to a company Christmas party? I'm gonna say you probably have not.
Yeah, I've been to them. They're always
yeah?
they're the best
And-
because
and-
I
and-
usually didn't know anybody. I
so
knew
you
like
could you could just act the fool and drink at
I
the
didn't
open
work
bar.
there. I didn't work there.
So how did you sneak in somewhere?
No, like through friends and especially with like significant others. Mm-hmm. That was always my favorite because you really get to learn another angle about your significant other when you meet their colleagues.
Sure.
Because I remember one time I went with a girl and I remember leaving. I was like, I guess no one likes you. Because usually we go there and everyone wants to meet the boyfriend.
It can be forced interaction, but yeah, you guys sat there in silence.
Well, usually like because I've never met them, and you know who I am. I talk about all my friends to everybody. I talk about you all the time. So
Yeah,
when
you
people when I introduce, I'm like, hey, this is that guy I was telling you about. This is Andrew. He's the one that sucks. No, it's but
Excuse me, sir.
when you go to those things, you expect.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the boyfriend I was telling you about. Like, none of them even knew who I was. No one cared that she had a boyfriend. You know, they didn't say, like, who's this stranger with you?
I'm sorry your experience was not
Well,
up to par.
Oh, no,
Dick.
it wasn't. I was just like, I guess they just don't like you. They don't care to get to know you at all.
Did you get nice and lubricated and drunk while you're there?
Well, no,
That's
I mean,
usually the
before.
Okay, so you showed up
yeah.
drunk. Yeah, okay.
But I made friends with all of them, and now, ironically, now is I hang out with them. That's always my favorite when you tell like one of your buddies or whatever. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with John. Like, John from my work? Yeah.
You mean the guy you met at the Christmas party 5 years ago?
Yeah,
we're pretty tight
We're
now.
gonna hang out. We're doing model airplanes. It's gonna be tight.
Well, the running joke is some of these Christmas parties can get completely out of hand because, usually the booze is flowing and you're seeing people that are normally not in that situation.
Yeah, and people get pregnant. I mean, it's wild.
Well, you might be onto something. I have a story here. This is about a woman who had to create a lawsuit against her company. That's never a good thing. Because when she arrived at her party, she noticed, and this is for Taco Bell, and Taco Bell was having a Christmas party at one of the locations.
All right.
And the lawsuit, never good when there is a lawsuit, states that when she arrived, she saw that her supervisor had covered the windows of the restaurant and the cameras for the lobby inside with wrapping paper. Okay, if you wanted to read something into that, seems a little odd, but you could also say maybe he was just decorating. Getting into the festive the festive moment by putting wrapping paper out. But the evening got a little bit weird. So at one point she steps outside, and when she comes back in, she notices her supervisor openly having sex with his wife right there on one of the tables.
With his own wife?
Yeah.
So it was just them. Okay, it wasn't like cheating or anything.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, big deal is his wife. What's the deal? But it doesn't end there. His wife was also kissing some of the other employees, and things got a little bit crazy. So she, of course, has now sued them because she's saying that she's suffering damages from having witnessed all this. But here's my thought. Everyone there knew what was going on.
Yeah, everyone poops.
Right? Yeah, everyone poops. It sounds to me like you're the problem, Tina. Like no one else was complaining, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else seemed to be having a pretty good time.
So that's how you rule your life. Of what's okay and not okay is if the majority of people
if everybody's having a good time. To me, it seems like she's the problem here. Yeah, it says.
I feel like if I ran into that, I'd be like, guys, can we do this later? I thought we were all hanging out and having a party. I don't want to look at this.
It says that she was shocked, disgusted, and outraged and ran outside. But she did later come back inside because she had forgotten her guacamole bowl. She wanted to retrieve it, which I didn't. Is it just me or does Taco Bell not serve guacamole?
They do.
Do they?
Okay.
Okay.
I just lied. I don't know. I don't go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
For this very reason, because I end up hooking up with a bunch of people at Taco Bell.
She said when she went back inside to grab her guacamole bowl, the lawsuit alleges that when she went in to retrieve it, she saw her supervisor and a coworker throwing up. I don't know what's going on with the throwing up. Maybe there was some edibles that were going on that had upset their tummy, but she has filed a lawsuit, and she probably will win, right? I imagine that you can't get away with doing that type of behavior on company property. But again, I think everybody there was okay with it. She seemed to be the one who was having an issue.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't have no fault in her logic here. Because unfortunately, in today's standard, if anything happens in your life that you have no control over, you blame someone else. So she's blaming Taco Bell for her problems, and she knows it's easy money.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, again,
because the story itself is something Taco Bell doesn't want to get out. If like their employees just having a
if you don't like what's going
inside.
on, just leave.
Well,
right?
I'm surprised Taco Bell, because they were inside the Taco Bell, right?
They were.
So I'm surprised they allowed a Christmas party inside the building. Usually that's like to prevent from them being sued. This is for me coming from all corporate parties. I'm a very big expert in it.
I can tell.
But yeah, no, I think that's something that I'm surprised there wasn't a rule.
Look, I've never worked at fast food, so I don't know if that's
I have, okay?
I don't know if it's unusual to have Christmas parties or events at all at one of the stores.
No, not at all.
So they typically will rent out something. So
well,
it was already
typically they won't have a party. Like management, it probably has their own party, but like you're talking like the lonely car hops over here at Sonic, and then you have me, I'd literally just made drinks. I never got invited to anything, and probably because I was 17, I wasn't old enough to be making out with. So
did you put on rollerblades when you were taking the drinks out like the Taliban?
No, they wouldn't let me do that.
No, really?
No.
Too much of a lawsuit.
No.
Liability.
The manager only liked women taking the drinks out.
Oh, I don't think you can get away with that these days.
No, I
need to go back retroactively.
There's a good story about that because when my dad heard about it, because the only reason I
you
complained,
let my son get on rollerblades.
No, I was a Karen because I got upset that they were getting tips and they weren't splitting the pool. And I go, it makes sense to split the pool of the tips because
right.
literally all they are doing is taking our hard work of making the meal prep, and they just pick up a tray and go to bay. They're not putting the drinks, they're not putting the food. They literally, we hand them a tray, and then they literally are just taking it. And so I go, hey, can we just split the pool? Like, that makes more sense to me because you won't let us be car hops, so I can't make tips because I can't be a car hop. And
you're like the unattractive girl who doesn't get the job at Hooters complaining. You know that, right?
No, I want it to be fair for all my friends because they work hard cooking that food, and I'm like, it's kind of BS. So you won't let any of us be a car hop, but you're letting them keep 100% of the tips. So something was going on after dark there. Had to.
Was there wrapping paper over the windows and cameras at times?
I don't know. And I remember coming home, and I remember
still salty about this, man.
Oh, 100%, because I learned a lot about how to stick up for yourself in the workplace. And I remember telling my father, and he's a lawyer by trade, and he goes, they can't do that, right? I was like, well, all I want them to do is just split it.
Yep.
That's all I care about. Because I don't want to work there if I'm missing out on like $20.
You know how you get around this? You go ahead and wear the rollerblades anyways inside,
whatever it is,
and you just start acting the fool through the glass there, so the patrons can see you doing everything. Right? You're flinging the drinks like the guy in Cocktail, like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. You're mixing everything up, and you're pointing at the girl through the window, going, "Yeah, this one's for you." So that way, when they bring the drinks, they go, "This $1's for that man right here."
For me.
Yeah.
Well, you know me and my customer service ability. You've been to the bowling alley.
It's legendary.
It's kind of weird.
It's amazing.
Because I know people get pissed at the bowling alley when I double their tips. And you know what we started doing? We started splitting the tips.
Yeah.
Because I think someone complained that when I first started doing that, I would get like $30 a night. And I was just running the front. That's not me serving anything. That's not me doing anything. And they would get mad. Like, I think someone complained. They're like, how's this guy getting $30 every night? I'm over here making hamburgers. I'm getting like $10. So when one of them comes like, you want to split? I'm like, yeah, sure. Y'all are doing a lot of work. I don't care. Because one guy tipped me $100. Remember I told you about that?
No.
Yeah.
What'd you do for him?
All I did was not yell at his kid.
No wonder I guess that's why my kids haven't paid me.
Like I was
one dime.
I was shocked because this kid just didn't know the rules, and he was just running around doing stuff. So I went over to the man and I politely said, "Sir, your son, like, he's having fun, but I don't really think you're watching him because he's getting into something dangerous. Like, he's trying to run down the lane or trying to put his hands and stuff." And he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even think he could do that." I'm like, "Yeah, you'd be surprised what kids can do, at a bowling alley." And then after the end, he came up and goes, "Hey man, I really appreciate you telling me and not giving me a hard time about my kid. Like, we kept an eye on him, hope he was better. We're gonna come back. Here's $100." I was like, "I'll take $100." But then I split it with everybody. So,
all right, man. Well, that's probably a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we got a story about a woman, a mom, who has lost her education role for a very, very interesting reason.
It's because she was fat?
No.
Not that kind of role?
Oh, God.
What are we talking about?
You'll have to stick around to find out.
Audience of One, we'll be right back.
Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
This winter, have a great Christmas with Audience of One show on Lone Star Community Radio. We're back from the first half.
Who is this man? What have you done with Dick?
And we're having fun hanging out in the studio. I always want to encourage everybody to reach out to us at all times.
I am suddenly a little scared.
Well, you should be listening, and you can call and text us at any time at 936-463-2322. You can find that number in the description below on all our episodes on podcasts and also YouTube, on Lone Star Community Radio, and Facebook. Audience of One Show at gmail.com is also our email. And we always love people sending in funny articles and things like that. And this is the first episode of Christmas, right? Or the December.
I believe it is, yeah. This is our first episode in December. That's why I said it's officially the Christmas season.
Yeah,
for the onesies.
I'm ready for it. I'm actually more ready for New Year's. Like I said before in the previous episode, everyone has the same goal on New Year's, is just to stay up till midnight,
Party.
and then everyone like all of a sudden has a sugar crash and is just in bed, or they're going to Taco Bell.
You'll
and
watch that
continue the
Lifetime
after
movie.
party.
Yeah, watch the Lifetime movie, get drunk, stay up till midnight.
Yeah.
Woo!
And yeah, so the second half, I wanted to talk to Andrew about some stuff because my personal life is always so entertaining.
This is not on the run sheet. I'm scared again.
And well, I just wanted to like reconnect and see what's going on. I'd like to update you. So the car's coming into the end of February.
Yes, you are getting an automobile.
Yeah. So I got the
So
update.
excited
I
for
got
you.
the update coming in February. Cruising for chicks. It's gonna be pretty great.
So it is a truck-like vehicle. Are you going to put like a mattress in the back and put like be like Shag and Wagon or something on it?
I don't really
Dickmobile.
know. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it because I don't
Because
want to.
chicks really dig that.
I mean, I think chicks.
I'm just trying to help you out.
I don't know what chicks dig this time of the year. Like, I feel like if you're really
Lifetime movies.
well, if you're really desperate for like a girl this time of day, like just go on TikTok for like 5 hours and just see what people are looking for, and then there you go. Like,
I suppose if you're wanting to know what a 19-year-old girl is thinking about, sure.
well, yeah, that's who else would I be looking for?
I don't know. I don't know, Dick.
Like I told you, what I'm using for my newfound freedom is to create scenarios of people giving me that look. Like I really want to bring home a 19-year-old and say, "Hey, Mom, look at my girlfriend." And I want my mom just to look over and be like,
abnormally young.
Richard?
What? What'd I do?
Yeah, and I want to do that. And then I'll bring a grandmother one time. I'm like, oh, this is my date. And then you get to look like, Richard? Who? She could be my grandmother. I think that would be great. And then,
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
and it's almost like it's a fun game that I need to have a bingo card with and see how I can make it bingo.
And you wonder why they're always changing the dates and times of family functions. I'm telling you, man. Telling you.
Well,
If we change it last minute, maybe Dick won't be able to. He won't bring his 19-year-old girlfriend along with him.
I mean, I think that would be great. Well, that's what I loved is everyone ended up hating my ex-wife. So it's like that's probably why they didn't want me to go.
Maybe so. Hey, man, have you ever watched a movie and then like years later gone back and watched it again? And the first time you saw it, you may have really, really liked this movie. And when you watch it the second time, maybe a decade, 15, 20 years later, you kind of have a completely different opinion of the movie.
I mean, I think it's also like it depends on like I bet that movie exists for me, but I haven't really remember. I don't remember.
So this happened to me. I wanted to watch a Thanksgiving themed movie because I got to thinking about it. There's a ton of Christmas movies, but are there a lot of Thanksgiving movies? Normally the Thanksgiving movie is just kind of like the first part of a Christmas movie. And it dawned on me that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is probably the only Thanksgiving movie that I could think of. And I remember the last time watching this 20 some odd years ago, it was great. Now, this is the 1987 John Candy, Steve Martin film that at the time I thought was very, very funny. I'm here to report back to the onesies, though, that time has not been all that kind to that movie. And I hate to say it because those are two legends in the comedic acting world, but I have to admit the jokes were really low-hanging fruit. You could almost knew what the punchline was before it was coming, and it was still good. I'm not going to tell you it was a terrible movie, but I remember it being so hilarious. And it's really not. I guess that humor has just really changed. And if you look at something through, 2023 eyes for something that took place in 1987, it is going to look a little different. But man, I was really kind of disappointed. And it pained me to say that because I used to love that movie. And that was, just one example. Now, some movies.
It's hard because I think that probably happened more than more recent movies because the 80s were always kind of like, they kind of created their own classic kind of movie, especially a movie like what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So not liking it as much as the first time, it's probably as intended because you already got the jokes. You already kind of know everything.
I surmised that it was very funny in 1987, and these are jokes and punchlines that everybody copied for years and years to come, and now they're just tired.
Yeah.
And at the time, they were probably like cutting edge.
Yeah, brand new.
Yeah, brand new, never been said before, never been uttered, and it's like, wow, that is so funny. Now it just came across as, pretty tired. And I hated to say that because that movie was really good. And some movies really stand the test of time, and I could see them over and over and over again. Goonies, for instance, is one movie that, gosh, if that movie came out today, it would still be good. And not all movies are that fortunate, though.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yep. So as teased before the break, we had a Texas mom who was booted from her education role after the school district discovered she was a convicted prostitute. And she was still advertising herself as an escort. This is a Texas woman, by the way. It's in Godley, Texas, which is up near Fort Worth.
What a great name.
Ashley
No wonder she got
Ketcherside.
caught. No wonder she got caught.
Ashley Ketcherside had been busted twice for her, quote, side hustle before serving on a council that recommends appropriate grade levels and methods for human sexuality instructions. Now, hold on a minute. To me, a woman who is involved in prostitution seems like the perfect person to be teaching sex education and recommending educational instructions on such. I'm thinking that they may have made quite a mistake here in the Godley ISD. But yeah, she was a mom. I guess she has students there, or kids that are there in the ISD, I'm guessing. How else do you get onto the board, right? It's not like she was a teacher, or maybe she was. But anyways, it says that she was advertised scantily clad images of herself online as the, quote, true girl next door. I love it, man.
Well, let's take a step back, because considering this story, it's kind of amazing to me how the internet really operates, and no one. It's almost like you don't really think about it until it hurts you. Because I guarantee this lady was having fun doing her thing, and then all of a sudden she wanted to run for school board. I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
well, this particular position, no pun intended.
yeah, that was pretty funny, man. Well, no, and I bet when they told her, "Hey, we got these pictures," like, yeah, that was like 10 years ago.
No, it says she's currently advertising herself as such.
Oh, I know,
Still.
but it's like, how do you not know this was going to happen?
But see, here's why I think they made a mistake. Do you remember the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
Right? And I think the main character's name was Frank Abagnale or something like that, right? And he was a known con artist. I think he was kiting checks and doing fake currency and doing all kinds of stuff, pretended to be a pilot. Well, after he served some time, the FBI hired him
Yeah.
to try and bust other con artists. Why? Because a con artist is going to be able to know other con artists the best. And again, I think this woman, as a woman of the night, probably would understand best how to educate our children in sexuality.
What this comes down to is back to your Taco Bell orgy story.
Yeah.
Is this
I don't know if it was quite an orgy. It was just one couple
making out with other people?
making out with other
All
couple.
right.
Only one was engaged in the activity. I don't know the rules of the orgy, but anyways, continue.
Well, let's look it up. Let's ask this lady. We need to attend her sex ed class.
Right.
But no, I mean, I feel like this is one of those situations where someone found out and they made a big stink about it. I had the same thing happen to me this weekend because someone called the studio, and I kid you not, she's like, this lady was, I didn't really know what trouble she was in or what, but she goes, I was on a program a year ago, and I need you to remove me from it. And I go, what do you mean remove you from it? Like, it's like from Google. Like, you can search me on Google, and I don't want to be found. Like, I didn't know I was going to be on a radio program that you can listen to a year later.
I got hoodwinked the same way.
And I was so confused because I didn't understand if she knew how the internet works or if it was something like, and then she mentioned a legal thing, and I go, wait, you're already pulling that card? I still don't even know what you're trying to tell me here.
Yeah, you're trying to explain the internet and what a podcast and a recording is,
Yeah,
right?
and she's like, well, I
guess-
didn't know. And she's like, and
If you're thinking of traditional terms of radio, you think you say it once, it's gone, it's never to be heard again, but not in today's modern radio.
And
Everything's
then,
recorded
well, then
and
she didn't
podcasted
understand
back.
what Google is
Right.
because I corrected it, and she calls back and she's like, "Hey, I'm still on Google." And I go, "No, just click it. Your name's not there. That's how Google works." But anyway, go back into the story with this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Certain type,
This is exactly what happened. One of the parents Googled her email address, and that's how they were able to find her escort services. So your problem was she was using the same email address for both gigs there. Through their own investigations, the parents found several Lola Bray profiles. I guess that was the name she was using. Where the expensive escort notes she is, quote, well reviewed and warns that no-shows for clients could be penalized up to $3,000. So she is a high dollar escort, and there is a picture of her there, Dick. I don't know if you feel like it's worth
that doesn't justify.
showing
Who
the
cares?
onesies. She's maybe someone you might be interested in.
We're not this kind of show, but she is around my.
Oh, right, yeah. Now all of a sudden,
She is around my age, so let's see if it will work out.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
My email address is farmtotable84. Let's see what you look it up.
It's a match made in heaven. Well, again, Godly ISD, I think you're making a huge mistake here. I think she is the right person for the job. So, Dick, I don't know if you've ever had this incident where you're driving along and you notice there is a merge ahead sign.
Okay.
Let's say you're in the left-hand lane and the sign is on the left-hand side. It says, lane ending, merge right. I, being the great and courteous driver, will tend to merge right soon after I see that sign. And nothing makes me more furious than as I'm sitting there on the right-hand side and the people that I have already passed are flying right past me. And they get all the way up to the very, very end where the lane merges, where they are forced to move over and move over at the last second, thereby cutting. And I have to admit, it drives me insane.
Does it drive you insane because they're doing it and they're getting away with it? Or does it drive you insane because you want to be doing it
Well, I think
and you're upset that yourself, like, why didn't I just, because who cares?
Well, it kind of like, hey, look, you see the sign, move over. Everybody else is moving over, but no, the rules don't apply to you, right? That's kind of what goes through my
That's not
mind.
the rules.
And it's especially bad, like I said, if
You know those aren't the rules,
if
right?
I've already passed the person, and I'm like, I'm just going to have to pass you again once the lanes open back up.
No, but-
it's annoying.
But you also have to consider that's not the rules. They can drive all the way straight.
They absolutely can, and this is where I'm going to have to fall a bit on the sword, because apparently what they're doing is actually the best for traffic. It's called a zipper merge,
Yeah, duh.
right? And So you already, well, go ahead and tell me about this then, Dick.
Yeah, you're merging like a zipper, one
Yes,
after another.
one after another, but going all the way to the very end and having both lanes utilized till the very last minute is actually the most efficient way to have traffic continue to flow as best as possible. So me and my anger that I get from people flying past me for merging at the last minute is unfounded, and I hate the fact that I've been wrong this whole time.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. You wake up wrong every day.
So I get, you think I'd be used to it by now. So I guess next time I'm traveling, maybe for Christmas vacation, and if I see that merge sign, I'm just going to ignore that bad boy and look over at the car as I pass by them and go, I used to be you, but no more.
Yeah.
That's right. The zipper merge. Sounds dirty.
You really never knew about the zipper merge?
That's the new Lifetime movie name.
Zipper merge.
Zipper merge.
I like it. And you know what it is? So we already wrote this movie. We've already written it with this episode today.
Yeah, we have.
Because it's called The Zipper Merge. Mm-hmm. And
It stars Ashley Ketcherside.
It has a young lady who is in her upper 30s.
Uh-huh. Worked for a school board as a sex education teacher.
Yeah, and you didn't know about her secret life.
Nope.
And no one did. That's the twist.
Yeah. They weren't into
But
digging into her personal life. How would they know?
Unfortunately for her, she fell in love with somebody at the school board meeting, and then she saw that he booked her for
Right.
his
A local farmer.
Yeah, local farmer who has
He grows
lovely
tomatoes.
kids.
Oh, yes. 2 lovely kids. His previous wife passed away
But
tragically
she
in a
didn't
car
know-
accident.
but-
It was a zipper merge accident.
Yeah, and she didn't know she was dead. So when she saw that he booked the nighttime with her, she was like, "This guy's a scoundrel," and she's gonna confront him because he's a scoundrel. And so she's sitting there having the fight. I can't believe you booked me for my services. You're married, and then that's when it comes out. She died in a zipper merge.
Or someone who didn't zipper merge properly.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I think we need to sell this one to the
I
Lifetime.
think that, there we go. We just wrote the movie. Great job, guys. Way to go. audience1show@gmail.com. Okay, so we're concluding the Christmas stuff, right? We're ever going to talk about Christmas stuff again?
I think we're done with Christmas stuff because the next story is about people who eat dog meat. You ready?
Okay. I like
I
it.
think we have moved on. So,
Okay.
yes, apparently there are people in this world that still, where it is legal, although it is kind of a frowned upon practice, to eat dog meat. And one of the places that it is still legal is in South Korea. But it is becoming more and more taboo.
What's the legit
and
reason why we can't eat dog meat? Is it just like,
I mean,
is it just bad for you? Or
I honestly don't know, other than the fact that it's against the law.
No, I get that. 'cause
Yeah, but
people
why
are-
is it against the law? I
Yeah.
don't know. There's probably some good reason why.
Because, like, what's the mating pattern of a dog?
Mating pattern?
Like the litter pattern. Like you can have how many litters in a year?
Probably a couple, I would
You
think.
think so?
Yeah, probably
So we can do like what? Each female dog can have what? 20 puppies in a year?
Are you trying to figure out where your next meal's coming from? What are you doing?
Well, I
dude?
mean, I'm trying to figure out why would it be illegal unless it's like bad for you because some places don't have a lot of good food sources.
Yeah.
Maybe South Korea is one of them.
Well, like I said, it's one of the last places on Earth, as far as I know, of where it is still legal, but it is facing a lot of pressure. And in fact, the South Korean dog farmers, which, yes, apparently that is a thing over there, is threatening to release 2 million dogs in protest if this goes through. They're like, oh, you're going to make this illegal, huh? Open the gate. Let Fido run. Can you imagine the results of 2 million dogs running through the streets all at once? That would be insane.
Well, no, see, what's so funny about that is these scenarios give a great example of the limitations of the human existence, where we try to be the moral police on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's got to be a moral thing. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, that's what if I had to assume, that's what I would think that.
Dogs are pets, therefore we don't eat them.
But then, well, it reminds me of the hunter.
But we eat chickens.
The hunter conundrum we have in this country, where
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, you can't hunt," but then we're like, "Well, we use it to conserve the area.
Sure.
That's why we only kill so many. We don't kill all of them."
Right, responsible hunting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, well, now these wolves are everywhere.
Which is why we might have
What
to
do
have...
we do?
Yeah, that's why you have to have helicopters and shoot them out of the sky
Like, we
with
have
an
hogs-
AR.
We have hogs everywhere. And then that's what I love about the dog
Responsibly,
idea.
of course. Responsibly.
Because I remember where I lived in Houston, there was something like, it was weird. Like someone had like 200 cats. And it would get bad during the wintertime. Like I found a cat in the washing machine outside. Because there's so many cats and they're trying to find places to sleep warm. And so I like did the dryer. And then you opened the dryer next day and there's a dead cat in it because it felt the warmth. I'm not kidding you. Like I was sitting there like, where are all these cats coming from?
Where was this at?
This is in Houston.
Oh, like at a previous residence?
Yeah. It was wild to me because I was like, there's something going on. Someone's either rescuing cats but not taking care of them.
Right.
Or it's like this is getting kind of crazy because you would hear one of my favorite things that one of the cats had their throat kicked in, I guess. So when it would meow, it sounded like an old-timey guy going, "Hi, hey there." So that's what it sounds like. "Hey there,
Probably
Dolly."
just wanted to jump in the dryer to end it all, man.
Well, that wasn't that one because I still heard that one. "Hey there," and then, so like imagine sitting there cooking outside and you hear "Hey there," and you're like, "What? Is there a ghost? What's happening?" And then I realized it was a
You
cat.
have the most interesting past.
Well, no, it's just "Hey there," and it's supposed. I guess he was trying to meow. That's what his throat sounded like. "Hey there." So yeah, but no, I was really weird to me because I go, is anyone going to solve this cat problem? Because I don't mind shooting them, but they don't allow that there, and I'm like,
No.
this is getting out of hand. Like there's
So you just warmed up the dryer for him instead.
yeah, put some
Well, according to
catnip in there.
the South Korean bill, it claims to end the dog meat trade by 2027, so they have plenty of time to offload their extra dog meat, announced the ruling party on November 17th. But dog farms, butchers, retailers, and restaurants, oh my God, I guess there's restaurants that still serve that, will have to submit to the local authorities their plans to phase out dog meat. I'd like to think that I've never eaten it before, unknowingly maybe. If I'd like to think that if I had, I would notice it, but maybe it's delicious. I don't know. Oh. Or cat meat for that matter. Meatter. I just had a
Yeah, I
slip.
like it. I like it.
That actually wasn't on purpose. Hey, have you heard of this drink called Liquid Death?
You know, it's funny. I have, but I have no idea what it is.
Okay, so interestingly enough, I had never heard of it either. And a few months ago, I
I've
was
seen it on shows and
Yeah, so I was actually at the airport, and I looked over, and there was a man holding a Liquid Death drink, and I'm like, what in the heck is that? But of course, since we're in the airport, you can't bring in any liquids from outside. Later on, as I'm waiting for my flight, I passed by one of the little kiosks that was selling the water, Liquid Death. I'm like, oh, he probably just bought it from one of these kiosks. And it's got this real ominous-looking, label on it, and it's just water. It's obviously all marketing. Well, I didn't know that they also have other drinks. One that is based off of the famous half lemonade drink, half iced tea
Wait.
called the Arnold Palmer.
help me out here.
Yeah,
So it's not alcoholic.
It's just water.
It's just water.
It's literally
I'm
just
on their
water.
website. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Again, this is just to be provocative, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, they have this drink, half iced tea, half lemonade, which everyone knows is an Arnold Palmer. They named their version of it Armless Palmer. So you can see where these guys are going, right? Well, the Arnold Palmer estate sued and said, no, you cannot profit from using, the likeness of our legendary Arnold Palmer. And this is when Liquid Death did such a baller move. They said, okay, fine. We're just going to rename it then. Dead Billionaire. Oh, jeez. Didn't change the formula. Everyone knows what the drink is, but they just changed the name to Dead Billionaire. You have to admire companies that have the cojones to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's Spanish for nuts, by the way.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah. So I would you like to have a Dead Billionaire drink? Would you like to try theirs? It sounds like it's probably quite tasty. But it is an all-time power move on their part, don't you think?
I want it.
Yeah. Oh, man. So staying on this theme of actual liquid death, the Food and Drug Administration on Thursday proposed banning the use of brominated vegetable oil, a food ingredient once widely used in popular drinks like Gatorade and Mountain Dew, and is slowly being phased out due to its potential health risks, including damage to the liver, heart, and brain. So what I think is interesting here is you have a drink called Liquid Death that is just water and is, by all accounts, healthy for you. And then we have other drinks that, like Gatorade, that put ingredients in them that are causing liver failure.
Okay.
Crazy. Were you aware of drinks like Gatorade that had something in it that was potentially that dangerous?
Well, from what I understand, like if you just drink Coke your whole life, you're going to be losing your teeth pretty soon. So anything can happen.
I suppose. Yeah. And have you ever seen those I guess they're kind of viral videos where somebody will put a penny, a bronzed, like old dirty penny in a can of Coke, and after a couple of days or a week, they pull it out and it's bright and shiny, like it's completely taken all of the shine off of it. I don't know if those are real or not, but yeah, man. So brominated vegetable oil is a food additive primarily used in fruit-flavored sports drinks, like I said, and sodas to keep the ingredients from separating. So maybe now if they're not using it, you're going to have to pick up your Gatorade bottle and give it a little shake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should just inject it. I'll show you, man.
Well, Gatorade always gave me like that. I don't know how to describe it. Like after you drank it, your saliva, everything was really thick.
Yeah.
And so there's something definitely in it that's why it's called the thirst quencher, because you can't drink anything after it.
Clogs up your
It just clogs up your throat.
It has electrolytes, though.
I know, but like nothing beats a glass of cold water, man. I want one of those right now.
Yeah, a cold glass of water.
Yeah.
It says that Coca-Cola and Pepsi have already stopped using the ingredient in their products, but it can still be found in smaller grocery store brands and some popular regional beverages like Sundrop citrus-flavored soda. So be careful out there, kids.
I like it.
You may want to check out and make sure that your drinks don't have brominade. And if I'm not saying that right, that does sound like I'm completely butchering that word. It's like, oh, no, it's brominade. You're saying that wrong, Andrew. Brominade. Anywho, now it is time for the audience of one a-hole of the week.
A-hole.
A-hole. And as we learned, I could probably say it, but I'll let you say it instead. Go ahead. What does a-hole mean, Dick?
Hey there.
What does it mean?
A-hole?
Yeah.
Everyone knows what it is. I don't need to explain it. So apparently,
I love this, but what?
I'm reading it. I want to read it. Florida man throws package of Oreos at wife while arguing over empty coffee maker. This is an article that Andrew found. I'm like, where do you find this stuff?
Look, man, it's only funny because it's Oreos. Let's be honest.
So
okay?
she called the police after the Oreos
I guess
were
so.
thrown?
So let's discuss what is appropriate to throw at your wife. Dick, go ahead.
Appropriate?
Yeah.
To throw?
Obviously, Oreos is
I would
appropriate.
say a baseball if you're playing catch.
There you go. I love how you wiggled your way out of that one.
That's
This is a
appropriate.
true radio professional, everyone.
Yeah. I mean,
You throw a ball at him. I mean, you're playing ball.
I don't know what else I'd throw at him.
Yeah, well, it says deputies wrote an affidavit that John Sandoval, 70, was arrested Saturday morning after he allegedly threw the package of Oreo cookies at his wife while the two argued over their coffee maker and that it had no water in it. Now, Dick, I do have to agree. Water in the Keurig is what I'm assuming is that's what I'm picturing anyways, is kind of a big deal. And it's always one of those things you get it and go, No water. Dang it. You got to reach down and fill it up with water, and it's such a pain. I'm definitely chucking some Oreos in my wife. If I find, just kidding, honey. That is hilarious.
I mean,
though.
I don't.
I'm just wondering where the Oreos.
See, I never threw anything at my wife. I just hit her in the face.
Were they just sitting there? You just hit her. Yeah,
in the
good
face.
old fashioned.
Like you did what? Liquid death.
Yes, it says according to the Lake County Sheriff's deputies, the couple who had been married for over 40 years got into a verbal argument while sitting at the table. At some point, Sandoval allegedly became aggressive and threw a package of Oreos at her chest, which caused her to fail. Come on, lady. It's not like it's at your face. It was on your chest. You know what the problem was? They were mega stuffed. I bet that's the deal. They were mega stuffed. You know they have mega stuffed now. You have the regular.
I don't doubt it.
And then they have double stuffs.
I'm waiting for them to make one that's as big as my fist.
Oh,
And it's
absolutely.
Just like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that is a mega stuff. Anyways, I noticed that the mega stuffs are about 3 times the amount of the original. So why they didn't just call it triple stuff, I don't know. But as someone who is allergic to chocolate, I love the stuff in the middle. So the more stuff, the more better. And I just eat the middle stuff. It is. Yeah, it is.
That's getting weird.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it when it's double stuff, but when it gets to triple stuff, that's my favorite.
Hold on. I'm getting weird. You just made it weird.
That's literally what I just heard when you were telling me about why do they call them mega. I just love the white stuff. It's just they call it triple. I want the triple.
Everyone knows
stuff.
I'm talking about Oreos. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I thought you were talking about something else, and I was like, "Oh man, here we go. We're getting back."
You went there.
It's always the stuff that's white in the middle that you like. I don't really get it.
It's true. So we had a story a few months ago, probably now, of a man who was eating nothing but Big Macs. You remember this? And it was weird because he was eating nothing but Big Macs, and he'd only eaten Big Macs for like 40 years straight. And the only time he had skipped one day was on the death of his or at his mom's funeral, because she made him promise that upon her death he would take 1 day break from eating a Big Mac. So he did. He honored that wish. But he's been eating Big Macs for like 40 years, and he's losing weight because of it. We talked about it, I think. It's been a while. I mean, we've done the show for almost a year now, so it may have been early on in the year. Okay. Well, I did hear that he's actually losing his taste buds now, and he's no longer able to taste the Big Macs like he used to. I feel sorry for the guy, but it's probably because he's burned those sensors of his tongue because he eats the same thing over and over and over.
I can see that.
I mean, it's a tasty burger, I suppose, but I don't know that I would want one every single day. Well, this might come as a delightful surprise to him, but have you heard McDonald's is changing, or is at least talking about changing, the recipe for the Big Mac? This is uncharted territories, everyone. Dick is in shock right now. As someone with a Burger King bag sitting right next to him, he is in shock.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, because the Big Mac, the thing that made it different from everything else is it had that special sauce.
Lettuce, cheese.
And then it had that bread in the middle. It had an extra slice of bread.
Yes.
Even though it was completely unnecessary.
So tricked up. Oh, no, you got to have that because that allows for additional sauce and condiments, man.
Okay, so that's clearly we're on a sore subject with you because there's not enough white stuff in the middle. But no, I don't. I was like, what are they changing? What are they changing?
So apparently they've been working on this change for years. The Big Macs will now be served with more sauce. And buttery brochet buns will be introduced. And I think the brochet bun is a thicker, kind of more of a...
I know what a brochet bun is. A broche.
Is it brochet or broche? Again,
I
I'm
don't
probably
care.
saying it wrong. Yeah, but I think it's like a thicker bun, so it's probably designed to hold in more of the juices. It says, it actually does that. It says the buns will have a thicker bottom to keep heat in, and sesame seeds will be scattered randomly to make it more aesthetic. So I wonder if they got like Salt Bae in there with the sesame seed buns, just kind of dropping them on randomly. Doubtful. Although they are asking for, I don't know, like $20 an hour now at McDonald's, so maybe they do need to step their game up a little bit.
Oh, well, it's so funny to me. We had this conversation when I played putt-putt or mini golf, and mini golf was $15 a person.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that's really expensive. I can't believe it." But they're probably paying the guys $20 an hour to be there. And I'm thinking, like, if you didn't want to pay $15, we didn't have to play putt-putt. Like, if you're just gonna figure out this,
probably took you a couple hours to play, right?
I mean, just depends.
That's a good deal.
And they didn't care. We could do whatever we wanted. and so you can play the same hole over and over and over.
Did you jump on the windmill? And ride
There
that,
wasn't a windmill.
Ride that
But
bad
no,
boy?
it's just like, but you think about
Is it truly putt-putt if there's no windmill, though?
Oh, yeah.
No, you've got to have a windmill. Have to. Were you always like so amazed on the 18th hole when you sunk it, the ball just disappeared?
This one didn't do that.
What? So did you
It's
keep
a
the ball?
legit putt-putt. It's a mini golf. They don't call it putt-putt. They call it mini golf.
Oh, is there a difference?
That's the qualification right there.
Oh,
But no, if you think about
interesting.
McDonald's, it's like, oh, we're gonna pay $20, and but McDonald's is probably going, oh, you know what this means? We actually have to make our food worth $20 because we got to pay these people $20.
That, or they're just going to increase the price too.
Well, they're gonna increase the price. They have to.
Yeah, with those brochet buns
But so it's like, well,
and all that sauce.
we have to make it actually worth it. for
Yeah,
people to come.
that is a good point. They are also aiming to create juicier patties by grilling 6 at a time instead of 8. This will help apply more pressure to the burgers to keep more patty juices. Man,
I kind of want to watch them make it.
they are really going in for it. That's right. It says they will also aim to make a change with the toppings, with cheese being taken out of the fridge earlier to allow it to melt more. Well, I don't know, Big Mac purist as I am, I don't know that I'm too thrilled about these changes, although I haven't had a Big Mac in a while, but I think I may try and get one here soon before they change it up on me. Oh, well.
Okay, Andrew.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, that's all the time we've got for today, guys. It's been fun, Dick, as we move into
Heck
the
yeah.
holiday season.
Heck yeah.
I'm already in the Christmas spirit.
Well, I know. You probably are going to decorate your house and everything. It's going to be really cool.
Yep, absolutely. I may already have the lights up. I may have not followed the rules I discussed earlier and put the tree up a little early this year, but oh well. And I don't know that I'll leave it up till the 5th of January either. But we'll see.
Sorry, my chair kind of like sunk, and I was trying to fix it, and it was like it literally. Now I'm just stuck right like this, and I go, "What is going on with this stupid?"
I noticed,
chair?
yeah, your microphone is tipped way down.
But yeah, that happened. Yeah. So yeah, I also want to remind folks we're here every Wednesday. You can email us or talk to us, text us. We do have a phone number now. If you didn't know what it is, it's 936-463-2322, or email us at audience@oneshow@gmail.com. Just visit our website at irlonestar.com/AOO. We'll see you guys later.
Next week, guys.